Our final award of the evening is actually a one-time recognition award, a very special award that LSBC wanted to bring together, and we're calling it the Global Impact Award. And here to present it is Ali Ardakani from Novature Ventures. Ali has a huge commitment into our sector. Last week, he was named the new chair of the board. So welcome, Ali. Look forward to the next 3 years. I don't know how many years you've been on the board, but we're looking forward to his leadership and his continued commitment into this sector.
What a dramatic music. All right. First of all, thank you for all of you for being here tonight. This is what a magnificent moment to be here after 2.5 years of pandemic. And the award tonight goes to someone who has made it possible to bring down the lockdowns. But before I introduce him, I do want to acknowledge a couple of things. First of all, thank you, LSBC. The management of LSBC is a very small group that has made this possible. Thank you, Wendy and the team. A round of applause, please. Thank you, our community. Each and every one of you is making an impact. Think of everything you do, every moment you spend, every moment you think about what you do is making impact on patients worldwide, which is why we are here. And we always punch above our weight every time. Thank you. Couple of other notes. We live in a world that's very uncertain. Freedom should not be taken for granted. We're free to pursue what we love and what we can do. We should really appreciate that. Our healthcare system should not be taken for granted. I think COVID showed that. Our healthcare system is as important as our army. We need to invest in it. I encourage our government to invest in it more than ever, into looking into all the technologies that we have, engage us more. And last but not least, I want to make sure that we understand that we celebrate the culture of failure. Not everything can be successful. I met Pieter Cullis when INEX was shutting down back in 2004. He actually mentored me and gave me some words of encouragement to what I should do with my career. And look at him now. So I'm going to introduce him. But we really should celebrate that this is a business that many things will go wrong before they go right. And we need to celebrate it. So, the life sciences sector has received worldwide recognition for its innovation throughout the pandemic. While there are several BC companies and individuals who have made and continue to make meaningful contributions in scientific entrepreneurship and advancement of life sciences research through Global Impact Award, I'm proud to announce that the recipient of this award this year is Dr. Pieter Cullis. So get ready for an exciting biography. Dr. Pieter Cullis is the Director of Nanomedicine's Research Group, Professor of Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology at University of British Columbia. Dr. Cullis and co-workers have been responsible for fundamental advancements in the development of nanomedicines, employing lipid nanomedicines and nanoparticles, LNP, technology for cancer therapies, gene therapies, and vaccines. This work has contributed to 5 drugs that have received clinical approval and have reached patients worldwide. Dr. Cullis has co-founded 11 biotechnology companies and that now employ over 300 people, has published over 350 scientific articles, and is an innovator in over 60 patents. Dr. Cullis has also co-founded 3 non-for-profit enterprises, including Center for Research and Development, now known as ADMARE. In 2004, the Nanomedicines Innovation Network in 2019. Dr. Cullis has received numerous awards, including the Order of Canada in 2021, and the VinFuture Prize, and the Prince Mahidol Award for the Gardner International Award in 2022. Two recently approved drugs that are enabled by lipid nanoparticle delivery systems devised by Dr. Cullis and his colleagues at UBC are, the first one is Onpattro, which was approved by US FDA in August of 2018 to treat previously fatal hereditary condition transthyretin-induced amyloidosis. Onpattro is the first, actually, it's the first RNA drug to receive regulatory approval. The second one, probably in most of us, is Comirnaty, the COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer-BioNTech that has received regulatory approval in many jurisdictions, including Canada, US, UK, and Europe. Comirnaty is playing a major role in containing global COVID-19 pandemic. According to Pfizer, as of June 2022, 3.6 billion doses of this vaccine has been administered in 180 countries. This is British Columbia making global impact. For those of you who received this vaccine, including myself and my family, which is actually most Canadians, now can appreciate that a piece of Pieter Cullis's invention and innovation is in each and every one of us. And we are here tonight because of his life-saving vaccine helped us end the lockdowns and get together and celebrate. Now let's watch our award-winning video describing his journey in his own words. Thank you.
It's kind of a long story. Well, it's a very long story.
30 years.
40 years. Or go back to 1980, really. So I got a PhD in physics in 1972 from UBC. Problems in physics didn't seem that interesting to me, let's put it that way, and the problems outside physics, particularly in the life sciences, were fascinating. I applied for a postdoc to go to Oxford, and amazingly I got it. I'd never taken a biochemistry course in my life, and I still haven't actually. Anyway, there's a huge variety of these lipids, and some of them, if you take them out of the membrane and you look at the properties, just put them back into water, they don't adopt the bilayer structure, which is obviously what you need to keep this permeability barrier. So we became curious as to what they do. I've spent about 30 years, really, looking at these very, very basic properties of lipids and membranes. You know, I mean, how many doses last year? 3 billion doses for the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. Unbelievable, right? I mean, there's estimates that it saved 10 million lives in 2021 alone. So the impact here is rather huge. You know, people sometimes ask, well, how does it feel to have been part of that? So as far as I'm concerned, I just say, well, it's pretty good. We've had this impact from something we started, literally a group that I had in 1982. Mick Hope, Tom Madden, Marcel Bally, and Lawrence Mayer were the people that we started this whole thing with. We're still working together after all these years, and we've had one hell of an impact, and that makes me feel pretty good. This is a story, really, that has a lot to do with the ionizable lipids and how well they performed, all of which came from very basic experiments trying to understand lipid asymmetry in membranes. This is causing a revolution in medicine because we now have the ability to treat disease in a completely different way. It's almost like a vaccine for atherosclerosis that's coming along. This is work that Acuitas has been doing with a company in Boston called Verve. We can see obvious ways now of treating diseases such as Alzheimer's and Huntington's and Parkinson's, etc. The eye, when direct injection into the eye, we can now do gene therapy. We now have lipid nanoparticle systems that can access the bone marrow. The potential for cancer vaccines, for example, is huge. I mean, the personalized cancer vaccines. So the list goes on and on and on. Aside from the realm of the range of diseases that one can treat, is the speed you can do it. Once you know what protein it is that you need to replace, then you can synthesize the messenger RNA or the small interfering RNA a month or two. You can package it in a day or two, and you have this exquisitely targeted, personalized medicine for an individual. It's the most amazing time in medicine. So these are things that are very exciting. Yeah, I'm not stopping anytime soon. You're exactly right.
Awesome. We'll cut there. That's perfect ending too.
Please help me welcoming Dr. Cullis to the stage.
All right, jeepers. Anyway, after listening to Matt Carlisle, I feel a little bad. It's way worse than being one of 108. I mean, really, I'm one of 1,008 and probably many more than that. But anyway, I just want to thank Ada very much. I mean, jeepers. I have a whole minute to make a few remarks, and you feed somebody 4 or 5 glasses of wine, and then you get them to make a speech. This is kind of a recipe for disaster. Anyway, and the second thing is that until I was notified I won it, I didn't know, and this was alluded to before, that Life Sciences BC actually had a Global Impact Award. So I suspect nobody else was nominated for this award. Anyway, I don't quite know how to phrase that, but I'm very grateful to I'm very grateful to LSBC for this recognition, not least because it really allows me to recognize some of the 1,008 or 2,000. Anyway, the people who contribute so much to making Vancouver the center of the world, really, for lipid nanoparticles. All this started, as I think it was said in some way in the video, way back in the early 1980s, when Mick Hope, Marcel Bally, Lawrence Mayer, Tom Madden, and I started a company to sell an instrument. There's a company called Lipix Biomembranes, and to sell an instrument that we called the extruder to make lipid nanoparticles. And it was a postdoc. It was a lab, me and 4 postdocs. And anyway, we thought this was great fun. And I want to emphasize that starting companies is fun, except when it isn't. So we took great delight in appointing all of us to the board of directors, and I took even greater delight in being the chairman of the board. I really like that title. I mean, come on, what a jeepers, Frank Sinatra and all of that. But anyway, we knew that all serious. We tried to be serious occasionally, and they have to have serious companies have to have a mission statement. This is everybody you talk to anybody forming company got to have a mission statement. So okay, well, wow. So we came up with the best one that I've ever encountered, which was free beer every Friday, and parties whenever possible. And one of my one of my proudest achievements is that nobody in my lab has paid for a beer since, and we've had some unforgettable. Well, some parties we can't quite remember, but we've had some really unforgettable parties. And and also in one way or another, I'm still working with Mick and Tom and Marcel and Lawrence. It's one of the things that certainly I'm most proud of. The building and keeping a team together, and we have to remember that in the global context or not the global context, but the local context of Vancouver. We need to build these teams. We need to build this community, and we need to build. We can do great things if you keep a committed group of people together, and I think we've proven that. The most important, of course, is to have a lot of fun doing it, and that's also, I think, what we managed to do. So together, we founded more than, well, as I said, 11 companies, whatever number. Now employ, actually it's 400, not 300. You know, this is, and they represent a market capital that's well in excess of $1 billion. And when the world needed saving, we came up with the lipid nanoparticles that enabled the COVID-19 vaccines. Not bad. Not bad, eh? Whoa. It's really embarrassing to be given credit for this when, you know, there's a table over there. Cullis did this, you know. Okay, I co-founded it along with Tom and Mick, but you know, it's amazing how you know, things you start off can have such big ramifications, and so it's an amazing thing to do. So I'm going to have to pay particular tributes to Precision Nanosystems and Acuitas Therapeutics. They've also, of course, been honored here tonight. James Taylor, Ewan Ramsey, Carl Hansen, and I started Precision in 2010. I approached Carl and I said, I want a better way to mix stuff to make lipid nanoparticles. That was exactly what I said. And Carl said, well, microfluidic mixing is the way to go. And I said, microfluidic mixing, doesn't that mean we get microliters? You know, I mean, jeepers. But anyway, it's turned out that it was. And then James Taylor came along and he said to me, I want to be a CEO. Oh, okay. And I thought, okay, well, this talented, very talented guy. And then Ewan Ramsey came along and said, I'll write the grants. Well, it was totally irresistible. And so they've done an amazing job, and it's been, you know, fantastic to be part of that journey. Now, Acuitas, wow, what a story! So many near-death experiences. Mick and Tom and I started INEX together with Lawrence and Marcel, actually, way back in 1992. This is after we got fired. This is one of these experiences you have to go through, and not always the best experience, but you have to look at the positive side. From a company we started called the Canadian Liposome Company, which was a subsidiary of a US-based in Princeton, New Jersey, company called the Liposome Company. They didn't appreciate our enormous talent, it was clear. Anyway, and then somewhat later, in 2008, we got fired again by new management that came into INEX. You know, this was another one of the best things that could have possibly happened. You have no idea how grateful we are to. I mean, Tom and they know the history here. This was, and Ying too. He knows it many times. There's history here that is quite remarkable. Anyway, very grateful for being fired. We developed through Acuitas lipid nanoparticles that were incredibly potent and got taken into the clinic by the company we were working with at the time called Alnylam Pharmaceuticals in 2013. And I have to say that one person who is not really acknowledged all that much, but really deserves a large part of the credit for this, is Marco Cipollini. He came up, this professor in the chemistry department at UBC, who came up with the lipids that actually really broke the structure. So Marco, stand up. You should really take some acknowledgement here. It was, you know, as I say, the number of people that really contributed in a hugely significant way is legion. Then in 2013, Mick and Tom and the team at Acuitas showed that we could encapsulate messenger RNA, not just small interfering RNA, but messenger RNA. So we weren't just silencing a gene, we're expressing a gene. We could get great gene expression in the liver. You got to get lucky in life, you know. I mean, okay, we've had a few places where getting fired wasn't bad. Anyway, we had a lot of good luck here because we were expressing proteins in the liver, and we got contacted by Drew Weissman, who's a prof at the University of Pennsylvania, who wanted to try our systems for lipid nanoparticles as vaccines. They worked remarkably well. The rest is history. But we weren't going in that direction at all. And it's just another point how you have to sort of get out there, and then stuff happens that you really can't prophesy. Anyway, so I've had very good luck, obviously, in my life to have worked with people like Mick and Tom and Marco. And I also want to give a tribute here to UBC. UBC has been obviously my home for, it's coming on for over 40 years now, and has been enormously supportive in this process, and deserves a huge amount of the credit for what we've managed to do. We certainly have many war stories, as I've sort of alluded to, but as anybody has who's really tried to make a difference in the world. And so I want to thank you very much for this award, but it's really been the team that has done it, and we've had a lot of fun doing it. So thank you very much.